My name is Sky, and today we are going to be talking about Year 5 Season 2 potential leaks that have been leaked, potentially. They may or may not be true, so take these with a grain of salt, but if you think about some of these changes, they don't seem that far-fetched, and they could seem as though they could really actually happen. Now, right before we get into it, if you have any questions about how do you think these changes are going to affect this, you can always leave a comment. If you want to know how I think it'll affect it, personally, the meta. But here we go, let's get into it. So, first things first, here are the Year 5 Season 2 balance changes. You can read at your own pace, but I'm going to be going through them one by one. So starting off with Doc. Doc will potentially become a 2-speed, 2-armor operator, and that means the loss of his ACOGs on the MP5 and P90 removed. Now, the buff to a 2-speed, 2-armor, that can be seen definitely as a buff. He'll be much faster, be able to move around the map better, and assist his teammates as more, instead of being an anchor. He'll be a better roamer and healer, assisting his roaming friends. So that could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. If you're an attacker, then that means you have to deal probably with someone who's going to be shooting at you, and then Doc, who's going to probably be covering them, watching them, buffing them in case they get damaged. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see if this change actually happens and takes place. Moving on, Blitz is finally potentially seeing some love. His ADS time will potentially be changed back to 0.5 seconds. And the P12, his pistol, will now have access to a red dot scope. This sounds like a great buff for Blitz mains out there. As myself, I am a Blitz main, one of them. So I have a lot of fun playing as Blitz. I was so sad when they nerfed the ADS time to 0.7. Like, you definitely noticed it, and it definitely lost you a lot of gunfights in the past. But now it's potentially going back to 0.5. And on top of that, he's being given access to a red dot scope. So this all in all seems like a good buff for Blitz, and it'll be interesting to know if this ADS time is going to be changed for all the shields too. Fuse and Monty as well. It didn't say, but this is all that was leaked at the moment, or supposedly leaked. Again, we don't know if these are true at the moment. Take these with a grain of salt, think of them as you will, but I'm just presenting you the information that I have learned. Moving forward, Amaru, or Amaru, depending how you want to call her. The decreased time between landing and putting up her gun. That sounds incredible, because we all know the big thing with Amaru, she uses her gadget, she flies in, she lands, she dies instantly because she can't shoot anyone. By decreasing the time between landing and pulling up her weapons, she'll be able to fight back sooner and potentially live in secure areas much quicker, and maybe even secure a site. That all in all sounds like a great change, and a much needed change, because Amaru, or Amaru, however you want to say it, has been extremely disappointing since she's come out into the game. And another thing, Gara Hook can now be used to fly indoors, so say you're indoors and there's a doorway that's covered, I'm assuming you can just fly through it, or a window in the inside, you can just use it to fly in now. Like, main thing I'm thinking of, like Canal, like the middle floor bomb site underneath the top floor bomb site. There's that one window, that side room window that's in the building that I'm thinking of. Potentially you can probably fly through like those then, and doorways as well if they're barricaded. So if like someone's standing there, you can just knife them quickly and just fly through. Now here, you've probably already read through a lot of these, but we're still going through them one at a time. Knock or Nook, depending however you want to say it. The FMG9 is potentially getting the ACOG for Knock only, not Smoke. Or we don't know actually, but I'm assuming not Smoke because he's a defense operator. Now that sounds amazing. It definitely seems like this is going to finally be the push needed to push Knock into a top or a much higher tier operator spot. Definitely not top tier, because her gadget is so flawed because she can't run with it, because it'll flicker and everything. You'll be able to see her on cameras when she runs. She has to still walk, sadly, when using the gadget. So moving forward then, we have Jackal, another nerf to Jackal. That's not all too surprising considering he still gets banned all the time in ranked and pro league. Well, not really pro league actually, just upper rank, he's still like at like 70 or 60% ban rate. But his Ida 12S is getting removed potentially, that way, you know, he can stop. He can't really open holes and he's got less map control essentially then, because he can't exactly make his own entryways then. And obviously reinforcing a wall will just stop him completely because he's not a hard breacher. And now that means also Castle can stop him now also, because Jackal also lost his breach charges at his rework. So he hasn't had those for a while. So Jackal, I mean, you can block Jackal out with the Castle. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see how Jackal plays out without the added 12S. But definitely, it is a nerf, because, you know, it's kind of like Mozzie's shotgun, how it gives them map control, and they can design the map. They can make holes in walls, try to get angles on people then. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that has happened when he removed. Now you're probably staring at this next one, Jager. These are secondary gadget changes now that we have. Jager losing barbed wire and being given a nitro cell. Now keep in mind, Jager is becoming a 2-speed, 2-armor operator at the mid-season patch. So him being given a nitro cell isn't that bad an idea, because he's not a 3-speed anymore. He'll be a 2-speed by that point. But it's definitely a buff, and it's definitely nice to see that they are looking to counteract their nerfs that they've made to Jager recently. Like obviously the carbine nerf, speed nerf, going down to 2-speed, 2-armor, and it's nice to see them actually giving him a little bit of love with the nitro cell being added to his arsenal. Doc, bulletproof camera, replaced by impact grenades. Makes sense, you know, if he's not going to be a 3-armor anymore, you know. He needs to be able to roam. And if you think about it, I think they're really turning Doc into a roaming character. That way he can attack people on the front lines, heal his teammates quicker, and impact grenades will just essentially help him with this. Now, it makes sense why they're not doing anything to Rook at the moment, because that's his identity. Rook is supposed to be the big, heavy 3-armor operator because he carries the Rook pack. He's supposed to be armored up to the teeth. That's his identity, and they're not going to change that. I don't think, at least for the moment. So that's why they haven't changed Rook, in my opinion, because that's his identity, and they don't have anything else planned for him to do in the meantime. So he will continue to be like that, and most likely keep his ACOG weapons, the MP5 and P90. Now IQ, Breach Charge getting replaced by Smoke Grenade. Okay, you know, smokes can help plant and everything, since, I mean, Breach Charges are really all that important anymore, because a lot of people are getting access to grenades and claymores, and most of the time you have a harder breacher anyway, like a Bonner or Thermite on your team, to make sure that you can actually get in them. But it's always a good idea to still have someone with a breach charge on your team, just in case there is that occasional castle, and it'd be real embarrassing if you had to go around and melee all his castle barricades down because no one had grenades or a breach charge. Or picked Ash or Sledge, but, you know. This is an interesting change also if it comes to fruition. All attackers will only have 2 breach charges, down from the normal 3 that they gain access to if they bring breach charges. So yeah, you know, another change, you know, so that because obviously 3 is a bit much, and you honestly don't really use all 3 of them most of the time. Unless maybe you're trying to attack from an upstairs site to attack a lower floor site when you're looking down on it. But in that case, you'd be better off bringing like Sledge and Buck, because they open it up easier, and so you don't have to waste your utility. There's an interesting change to the Russian scopes being changed into regular scopes. Now, I thought kind of like, okay, why are they doing this? I mean, maybe it's because the Russian scopes give too much of an advantage over the other scopes? Maybe it is. Maybe they're considered even a little bit weaker than the normal scopes. But I think it might just be just for consistency, so people get used to the one thing, the normal scopes, and that's it. maybe these are a little bit stronger. Maybe they do present more of a better accuracy attempt. Not really sure what I'm trying to say here. It's an interesting change, and that's about it. Sad change, because, you know, those have been like that for forever. But whatever. It's gonna be weird seeing Fuse with a normal ACOG instead of his ACOG. Or the reflex sights on my defense operators. And then the last and final change that has been leaked, and this will hopefully just bring some quality of life improvement just for anyone that wants to use a suppressor. The suppressor will now decrease damage by 10%, and that's it. So it's much needed clarity on, because so many guns, and also it doesn't exactly match when you actually go in to test it. Some of the guns I've heard don't actually match the number that they're supposed to deal damage with the suppressor. So hopefully this just clears it up then, and then just, you know, brings less confusion into the game. Alright then, that's all we know about for the Year 5 Season 2 balance changes that have been leaked so far. Again, these could be fake, these could be true. Some of them could be true, some of them could not happen. Only time will tell, and when we get closer to Season 2, we'll learn more. Anyway, this has been Sky. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. We will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.